While planning a visit, people look for staged thrills that terrify them in constructive ways, with the dangers being perceived rather than real. There are, however, some places in the world where you can get scared without the help of costumed characters openly wielding plastic chainsaws. Edge along the skinny planks suspended high on the mountainside, relying on the joints set into the sheer stone face. Or go to a long-abandoned city where life is still evident and is as constant as the ticking of a Geiger counter. So in this video, we will be with you to show you the scariest tourist attractions in the world. So don't go anywhere and watch the video till the end. Also, if this is your first time visiting Mr. Weird Facts, click the subscribe button and keep yourself updated. Island of Dolls, Mexico. Getting back to the video, although dolls inherently creep people out, this is much creepier than a shelf full of American Girl dolls staring at you. Near Mexico City, dolls in varying states of disrepair dangle from trees amid canals. They may not all have the necessary appendages, but they all have a fixed gaze. Caretaker Don Julio Santana, who is rumored to have discovered a 4-year-old girl's body in a canal years ago, is the author of this macabre collection. Soon after, to console the girl's ghost, he discovered a doll and hung it from a tree. Even though it would appear to invite spirits rather than appease them, he continued to hang dozens more dolls. Base jumping, Norway. Few adventure companies include a warning like, there is a chance you will severely injure yourself, if not die. But SPK Base does. The business gets you ready to jump off a cliff. The number of jumps, injuries, and fatalities since the company's founding in 1994 are totaled on the statistics page. If you decide to jump anyway, SPK's most recent statistics show 53,171 jumps, 136 accidents, 12 fatalities, 48 helicopter rescues, and 11 climber rescues. Icehole Plunge, Finland. If you're in the Nordic nations and don't feel like jumping off a cliff, why not jump into an ice hole instead? Finns refer to it as refreshing. Those who aren't used to leaping into icy crevices might advise, whatever the Finnish number for 911 is, dial it now. You decide how long you stay in the icy water. The majority of experts advise doing so until your heart is about to stop. Jack the Ripper Tour, London. You might as well follow the person ranked no. One in the power rankings if you're going to follow one of history's most terrifying serial killers. Guides take you to some of London's most eerie locations, including streets and alleys that haven't changed much since 1888, when Jack the Ripper was still at large and mutilating his victims. You will learn about the crimes from experts who know them inside and out, the website notes. Mount Huashan, China. The Grand Canyon Skywalk, a glass-bottom stroll over a ledge hundreds of feet up, is made to feel about as terrifying by the trail along the cliffs of Mount Huashan as a stroll down Main Street at Disneyland. Planks bolted hundreds of feet high along sheer stone walls are encountered by hikers on the holy mountain, and those bolts undergo routine inspections. The situation in the bathroom is even scarier. The following is taken from a Chinese tourism website. On the summit of Mount Huashan, there are only a few restrooms, and they're in poor condition. It is preferable to mentally prepare. Border crossing simulation, Mexico. You are dragging what little you own across the desert in search of a better life while being pursued by strangers who beg you to believe in them. You're abruptly approached by drug cartel members who want to know what you're doing. A short while later, armed burglars search your backpack for cash and valuables. And just when you thought you had succeeded, Border Patrol agents detain you. Greetings from Night Walk. One of the strongest tours in the entire world. A 3-hour, 7-mile journey through hills and streams is intended to resemble an attempt to cross the border into the United States. There is also kayaking, ziplining, and for those who want to be in actual hot water, thermal pools if you don't feel like being pursued by armed actors. Edgewalk, Toronto. As Toronto's tallest building, the CN Tower is impossible to miss. Climb to the top and stroll along a handrail-free walkway that would make a safety inspector wince, or anyone else for that matter. Onesies with straps that fit around the inside of the walkway are pulled on by participants. They can lean over the ledge for a better view while walking 1,168 feet above the ground while tethered. Walking Safari, Zimbabwe. Taking a walk with your wildlife guide through a Zimbabwe national park like Wange, which is teeming with lions, elephants, rhinos, and cheetahs, instead of using a 4-wheel drive, is not inherently dangerous. It gives me a great thrill. But please tell me you're not even a little worried. In case of emergencies, the guide is carrying a sizable gun. In the middle of the wilderness by yourself, you're keeping an eye on some lions to make sure they can see you. It's amazing and it's an adventure. but it's also frightful. Scuba diving during the Sardine Run, South Africa. Amazing things occur off the coast of Durban, South Africa, every June and July. Massive schools of sardines travel to KwaZulu-Natal from the cold waters of the Cape to breed there. Many hungry dolphins, marlins, and most importantly, sharks follow those tasty sardines. There are tons of sharks. What then do people do? When the feeding frenzy begins, they don their diving gear. It's an amazing sight, but swimming with sharks during a feeding frenzy is also dangerous. Devil's Pool, Zambia. Every year, about 1 million tourists visit Victoria Falls, the largest sheet of water falling in the world. Some people prefer to admire from a distance, but those who are more adrenaline-obsessed prefer to get close up by swimming in the Devil's Pool, the ultimate infinity pool. This is undoubtedly the most famous natural rock pool in the world, perched directly on the edge of Victoria Falls and offering swimming experiences unlike any other. You are only separated from the sheer drop into the water below by a thin, slick rock wall. You are welcome to extend your arms and legs over the edge if you are feeling particularly daring. The likelihood of you going over the edge is quite low, because this is one of those things that appears scarier than it is. When the river was low when I was younger, we would frequently walk across the rocks and swim in the Devil's Pool. It produced some incredible photographs and wonderful memories. Today, you can book a trip through green safaris instead of simply crossing yourself. If you aren't visiting between August and December, be sure to check the river levels before you go. You won't be allowed to swim if the water is too deep or too dangerous. Gates of Hell, Turkmenistan. One of the most sought-after travel destinations on the planet is now a Russian engineering disaster. In 1971, while drilling, workers came across a sizable natural gas cavern. When hazardous gas started to rise, officials set it on fire without interference from environmental protection agencies. The birth of the Darvaza gas crater. Since then, locals have organized tours, and locals are renowned for cooking eggs and other foods by attaching extraordinarily long poles to frying pans. That was all for today's video. Share your thoughts with us in the comment section. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe to Mr. Weird Facts for more fascinating videos. I appreciate you taking the time to view this video. We'll see you in the upcoming video soon.